וידבר השם אל משה לאמור, צב את אהרון ואת בניו לאמור, זאת תורת העולה. The portion starts with the creator telling Moses that he needs to go to Aaron and his sons and he tells them about the korban העולה. Korban means sacrifice, and olah means to elevate. So we already spoke last week. We know the whole book of Vayikra is talking about sacrificing. There's many different kind of sacrificing. And we already know that the sacrifice is really to sacrifice the desire for the self alone. And another explanation of it's called korban. Korban means to sacrifice, but korban is also mean to get close. And we really want to get close to the Creator. All right, how do we get close to the Creator? By sacrificing the desire for the self alone. How do we even sacrifice the desire for the sake alone? For the self alone. We sacrifice the desire for the self alone by understanding that there is a much, much bigger picture in this world. And where the experience that we live on a daily basis, they're all part of a big picture of what is our job here in this world, and everything that is happening to us happened for a reason. We already know that, right? But negative thoughts that we have, okay, so this korban, okay, so the korban, that sacrifice, that kol olah, it means to elevate our consciousness, and that altar, or that sacrifice needs to be burned 24/7. The Kohen is coming in the morning and is make sure that it's keep burning every day. All right. And it says, the phrase is this, and I'm going to just say it in Hebrew. If you want to know about this phrase, it's in the portion of Tzav, verse 6. And it says, Esh tamid tukad al hamizbeach lo tichbe. Again, Esh tamid tukad al hamizbeach lo tichbe. And it says that if we really want to eliminate negative thoughts, we need to repeat that sentence 6 times. Because we are putting our desire for the self alone and our negative thought on that altar that never stop burning. We can constantly burning those negative thoughts, and then we're going to see how to do that. But when we're saying that phrase, Esh tamid tukad al hamizbeach lo tichbe, we are eliminating negative thoughts. And why do we want to eliminate negative thoughts? We can have great actions, we can be great people, but our mind, like we said, we're sitting on the table and we're having fun, but we're not really there. The same thing in life. We can do all the right things because we are spiritual people. And if someone needs help, we're going to go and help. And if someone needs something, we're going to go in. If we need to volunteer, we go to volunteer. And if we need to give charity, we give charity. But this is only actions. It has to be that it starts from the mind. It has to be that we can control our consciousness, mind and consciousness. All right? So when we are having negative thoughts, no matter what action we are doing, we are disconnected from our essence. Okay? And by the way, I thought to share that with you. I heard a nice story or analogy from one of the Kabbalists in Israel, that he was talking about the essence, and he was given an example of a gold necklace. A gold necklace, every time the gold necklace looks in the mirror, she looks like a gold necklace. Every time someone wants to wear a necklace, they take her. They talk to her as a necklace. They appreciate her. Her, I say her because it's in Hebrew, it in English, sorry. They appreciate it as a necklace. They talk to her as they treat her as a necklace. So what's the conclusion? What would that necklace will think? That she's a necklace, that it's a necklace, right? But what it is really, what is the essence of that necklace? That necklace is made out of gold. And at every given moment, we can take that necklace and we take it to a person that, that can melt it and can make something completely different out of it. Completely different. Because the essence of the necklace, even if it's been treated as a necklace and talked as a necklace and used as a necklace, and there's no other way but being a necklace, the essence of that necklace is gold. All right? And we need to remember that. We need to remember who we are. When the Creator created a soul. By the way, they created only one soul, right? Who he created? He created Adam, was the first soul that everything else and all the other souls came from it. And and it was in Gan Eden in heaven, right? So let's go back to the thoughts, so when we are really having negative thoughts, it's disconnecting us from our own essence. And what is our essence? Our essence is really that okay, we are part of the creator, that's for sure, right? We are one part of the creator. It's like the mountain, we are a piece of the mountain, so we just see the piece, but we really belong to the mountain. But our essence is we were created to really be free people, and that's what we'd like to achieve in Passover. We want to have that freedom. It's a basic need of a person to be free. And if we are not able to live in that freedom, all right, then we cannot really be happy people. And I want to read from the Rav Ashlag about freedom. So the Rav Ashlag is saying that a free person, שיכול לפעול על פי בחירתו ורצונו החופשי, that he can operate according to his own choices and his free will. According to his own choices and his free will. שאדם יכול לשלוט ברצון שלו. We want to come to a place that we can control our desire. It means that if my negative desire, for example, or I know something that is harming me to eat a chocolate cake, and I know that sugar is really not good for me and it's really dangerous. And yet, since I didn't feel something in my body, I'm going to eat that chocolate cake. Free person is a person that can tell to himself, Esther, don't eat that. And Esther will say, oh, of course not. It's not good for me. Now, it looks like, oh my God, I cannot eat that chocolate cake. Right? But a free person, when he really knows that that is not good for him, he wouldn't want to eat that chocolate cake. So it's not even a restriction, it's the knowing. To be free is to be able to tell ourselves what to do according to what's good for us, and we will follow it. The problem is that most of the time we are not follow it. And this is all negative thoughts. This is where a lot of negative thoughts coming to us. Because if I told myself not to eat that chocolate cake, and again, and a day after day, for weeks, for months, for years, I'm still eating that a chocolate cake or a chocolate or a cheesecake, whatever it is that made out of sugar. All right? When I'm telling myself tomorrow, Esther, don't eat that chocolate cake, I don't believe me. I was like, yeah. Like I believe you. Tomorrow, I'm not going to eat sugar. And I was like, yeah. You just talk about it. So we don't even believe ourselves anymore. And yeah, that chocolate cake, or when we feel any belief system that is, and what is that negative thought? They're all coming from a wrong belief system that we don't have the power to choose, that we don't have the power to tell ourselves, this is good for me, this is not good for me, and I want to go with what's good for me. It says, in the Ari, that דור אנוש ודור הפלגה סילגו את השכינה למעלה ברקיע זין מחמת עוונותם. Adam was sinned. He was sin, right? In the Garden of Eden. And while he was sin, he was throwing away, and basically he was disconnect. Because Gan Eden, heaven, the way we call it, when we're looking at Gan Eden, it's when there is no separation between the desire of the creator and the desire of the vessel. All right, there is one. All right, and when Adam sinned, or I don't know, I don't like the word sin. Give me the creep. Well, I don't know. I don't have another word for it right now. Okay, so when Adam sinned in the taking from the light that he was not ready for, he basically was kicked out of heaven, And in that moment, he was separated. Okay? And then the next generation was the generation of the Mabul. If you remember, Noah and before, the Dor Enosh, the Mabul, and then it was all distracted, the whole world, the ark, the Noah arks, that everything was corrupted. Why it was corrupted? Because they sinned again. And they were sinned in Keri. It's basically the desire for the self alone. Again, if you want to go to a deep study, go to Kabbalah.com. But the idea is like that they didn't really combine the Zir and Pidman Malchut. Their desire was not really matched with the Creator desire. All right, and they were connected to the pleasure of the body and not necessarily for the pleasure of the soul. So when they ask those generation, why did you sin? I don't want to sin. They didn't want to do that. But they did it because Adam did it. Because what Adam did was the root. Okay? I hope I make myself clear. Was the root. So let's look at Adam. And then, after the generation of the Mabul, there came generation of the Tower of Babylon, and then they, sinned again and again was corrupted. And why did they sin? They didn't want to do that because the other generation did and Adam did. Okay, so it's always go back. And if you really look at life, you always want to connect to the seed level of why we behave the way we behave, or why we believe the way we behave, what we believe the way we believe, because it's going to be in our subconscious. Because for many, many reincarnations, we don't really remember things that we did. But we are all connected eventually to that sin of Adam. All right? And even if we don't have any desire, how many times we have no desire to have bad thoughts? We have no desire to react. We learned Kabbalah for so many years. We really want to be a better people. And yet every time that the test is coming, not every time, God forbid, but many times we can fall into habits. It's because we cannot really correct with action. We need to learn to go into the subconscious level, because in the subconscious level is where all the other things that we did, when we got hurt, when we behave in a selfish way, when in the past life, when we killed someone, when we stole, when we cheated, when we did all these negative thoughts, and now we're afraid it's going to happen to us, or sometimes we're afraid of karma. What is that karma that we're afraid of? Because just by action, if we correct only action, we only correct on the on the superficial level. We are not really do the correction, because we cannot really correct if we're not going into the subconscious of the root of why are we doing what we're doing. Why are we thinking what we're thinking? Why do we believe what we believe? If we don't go to the root of it, we will never really be able to correct. Because, I know I need to do good things now. I'm going to do it, but I'm not really going to the root. And what it says here in the, it's very, very deep. But I like that idea of the one generation cannot really have free will. We were talking about free will, right? Like one generation don't have free will, because in the root, the ancestor, already Adam was sinned. So every time we want to correct something, we can always go back to the sin of Adam and try to correct there. This is what Abraham, Jacob was trying to do. And then again, we mess up. What's important for us in Pesach, if we want to come to a place of the greatness of the mind, to remove negative thoughts, why those negative thoughts is even coming to us, is because we want to ask ourselves in this Pesach, I want to go to the root of those negative thoughts. And negative thought is not, nobody is a bad person, we don't think negative thought because I want to hurt someone else. But the fact that I believe, like I said about the chocolate cake, that I will never ever be able to let go of chocolate cake, because I'm telling it to myself for I don't know how many years, and I don't believe anymore to what I'm saying. If someone experienced betrayal in the past, it doesn't matter how many mantras he's going to tell himself that he trusts. If he's not going to the root and to understand why, he was betrayed and what even happened before that. Because nobody will betray no one if they didn't deserve it, if they didn't open the opening for that. So how do I go? And not from thinking bad about ourselves. That's not the point, okay? It's like to go and to correct within the seed level, within the subconscious. Obviously, how do we go to the subconscious? So, Western spirituality will call it meditation. And in Kabbalistic, we called it Hitbodedut or Shtika. So there's different ways. And in a very short thing, what's the difference really between meditation and Kabbalistic, Hagut Kabbalit, is that in meditation, you need to go and sit for hours and meditate, and it's amazing, and you can really go to high places. But in order for us to really be able to leave the body or to go with our mind to higher places, we need to give up the desire of the body. Okay, we need to give the desire, period. It's like, if I don't have any desire, then if I don't have a desire, I can go up. All right, and it takes hours and hours. The Kabbalists, how they do that, they can zoom in and out. They don't need to sit for hours. Like how many times we heard about Kabbalists, and where none of us is there. I mean, maybe you, I am not. That, the Kabbalists used to go, if they wanted to know something in the upper world, they used to go there and come back. And it can take very fast, they don't need to sit and for hours and cleanse and fast and do all those preparation. And in Kabbalah, they actually not need to let go of the desire, they need to increase the desire, because everything is desire. But when we let go of the desire, what light can come into the vessel, right? But in the meditation, in the Western meditation, it is work, because they somehow, they eliminate the body and they're able to go up. But it says that it's only limited, to what we can get in meditation. But it's really, in order to practice, it's the same process, really. But the consciousness is not to let go of the desire, is actually to have the desire to connect to Creator. All right, because when we are letting go of the body, we go somewhere. We don't know where we're going, right? We don't want to connect to something. We're going to where the mind wants us to go, all right? But when we have a desire to connect to Creator, we have a target. We have a goal. When I'm meditating and when I want to go to my past, I want exactly, I have a target. I have a desire to go to my subconscious and find out exactly what happened there. So it's really, in Kabbalah, we all talk about desire, and it's really all about desires. Hi guys, I hope I'm not confusing you. Anyways, so the goal in Pesach is to become free people. And to become free people is to have that free choice. Okay, that free choice. By the way, in the Torah, they don't really believe in jail. If you really read through the Torah, the Torah is really respecting the freedom of a person, even physically. When someone was caught to steal, they don't go to jail, because jail doesn't help the person, just destroy him, right? More and more, he's going to meet a little bit more other criminals, and usually people not going out from there when they're ready to life. So in the Torah, if someone stole, he has a fine, if I'm not mistaken, 4 times more, from what he steal. And if he doesn't have the money, then he's going to be a slave to the owner. But it's not really slavery, because there are many rules how the owner need to treat him exactly like a house member. You know, that if the owner sleep on a bed, then he needs to sleep on a bed. And if he's eating meat, he can never give him to eat vegetables. He has to give him meat. So it's a very equality. So the Torah is really supporting the freedom of a person. If a person even killed someone, there were cities, you know, there are many portions that we can read that there are cities that they send those people to really work and to have a normal life. So anyway, so because the freedom is very, very important, very, very important, you know, in the eye of the Creator. And that's what we want to achieve. We want to achieve that freedom of the mind, that we can go, you know, and we can correct from the seed level, and to eliminate those negative thoughts that is really disturbing us from connection. So first of all, let's look at this. From last May, like 2020, May 2020, until January of 2022. All right. And I was definitely talking about this a lot. The South Node in Sagittarius, the North Node in Gemini. All right. In the time of Pesach, you know, in which will be, when is the date of it? Yeah, Saturday, right? On Saturday. Well, we all know that the North Node is in Gemini. All right. South Node is in Sagittarius. Now again, I said that a million times, Sagittarius people, it's not about you. It's about the shadow of the sign of Sagittarius. All right. We're not talking about people here. And Sagittarius has many good qualities. But today we're talking about the shadow of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius has a lot of belief systems. A lot of belief systems. They believe something and that's it. You know, and they're going to fight the fight, and they're going to kill in the name of God, and they're going to punish in the name of God, and or in their beliefs, you know, and that doesn't work anymore. Doesn't work anymore. That, you know, Gemini is to release ourselves from prejudice, okay? From what I think about those kind of people, what I think about myself, what I think about this situation, what I think about anything in the world. All right, and that Gemini is to constantly accumulating, if you remember, new information, new things. Life is changing. Things that worked before doesn't work anymore. And in Pesach, we have that North Node in Gemini conjunct Mars in Gemini. All right, so exactly same degree, right? A 13 degree of Mars is conjuncting the North Node in Gemini. And Mars' action is really wants to give us. Mars is also the planet of Aries. We are in the month of Aries. So, you know, we have all this energy to do the correction, to really go into the subconscious, you know, and to really go deep and check, like, what is the true correction? What do we want to be free from? What is it that we tell ourselves that we are not good at? What is it that we tell ourselves that we don't like that? We don't like that about other people. We don't like that about the situation. We know exactly how things needs to be done. You know, and we always come from that self-righteousness that we are greater than people. It's a fire sign. Fire sign, the Sagittarius, you know, it all has to do, fire signs, all has to do with ego. All right. And it's time for humiliation, that humility. Sorry. So to be even humble, with ourselves, you know, to set ourselves free. In every Pesach, we need to believe, and I don't like the word need to, but we really need to, you know, believe that every Passover, we are setting ourselves free from something, you know, and we have that Mars giving us the energy to do the tikkun. North Node is tikkun. To do the tikkun in Gemini, Gemini is like Gemini. Let's talk about Gemini for a second, because Gemini is the twin. And if we learn about Gemini, we know there's two twins, the mortal and the immortal. And if you heard me talk about Gemini, you heard me talking about that in in the past. That's why in the month of Gemini, we have the holiday of Shavuot when we receive the Torah. It's the center column. And even in the portion of Tzav, we have the small mem. Mem is the center column of all the letters. Okay, and it's made out of Chaf and Vav, which is the Yud Ke Vav Ke, which is center column again. So Gemini is a center column. When we have Mars conjunct the North Node in Gemini, we have the ability to connect to that center column. And center column means I don't want to have all these beliefs, or I don't give up any of my beliefs. I really want to know how do I need to operate according to a true desire? How do I move on with my life according to my true desire? Okay, so when that Mars is in a conjunction to the North Node, we really want to think just before Pesach. I know it's already Thursday. Passover is Saturday night. Let's spend the weekend again. We always talk before the weekend when we can have a little workshop during the weekend. Like to try to elevate our consciousness, to have desire to know what is the belief systems that really doesn't serve a purpose for us at all. Because if I don't believe that if I'm going to tell myself, Esther, stop chocolate tomorrow, I will never, ever stop it. Okay? The idea is not to let go of anything. We are not want to let go of nothing. We want to connect to no time, space, and motion. We want to connect to the endless. We want to connect to a higher level of consciousness. All right, we're not trying to let go of negative thoughts. We want to connect to positive thoughts. So when we have fear comes in and it's taking over, and right now there's a lot of anxiety. So if anxiety is coming and it's taking over, all I want to do is to close my eyes and to breathe and to say, Creator, I just want to connect to you right now. I'm not trying to let go of the fear. Just please take it away. I can handle it. I can handle whatever it is that happened in my life. Let me just breathe through it. And I want to connect to Creator. And we can always say, Esh tamid tukad al hamizbeach lo tichbed, the sentence that we say before. We can always meditate Ayin Resh Yud from the 72 names to eliminate those negative beliefs that coming from the subconscious all the way from the sin of Adam. So only this week we have conjunction between Sun and Venus. Okay, they're both in Aries. Sun in Aries is strong. Venus's desire is strong. If we tell ourselves that we can gain free will, we can go into freedom, we can really do that. All right, we have Mars conjunct the North Node, we talked about it. We have Venus conjunct Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer in Aries, but Chiron is represent the wound, in Aries. When Chiron is in Aries, is the fear that people are not going to, they're not going to recognize us. I'm the Aries. You don't notice me. You don't do what I'm saying. I'm not getting what I want. So I need to grab. So I need to take, and when Venus, which is the desire, is conjunct Chiron, it can help him heal. We can heal ourselves this week. We can heal ourselves from all the insecurities of the things that we wanted to achieve in life and we didn't do it yet. Maybe because we are not really connecting to our true essence. All right, so to heal the pain of the desire for the self alone and the smallness of the mind, that in this moment I didn't receive what I wanted to receive. In this moment, someone talked to me not the way I want to be talked to. In this moment, I whatever it is that is happening to us on a daily basis, we don't want to connect to the smallness of like, this is life right now. I need to struggle with something. This is life. This is not life. Life is much bigger than that. And we're going to eliminate that belief system that is life, and then it's going to go away. All right. And that's Chiron in Aries. I don't get what I want. So Venus will help him. Venus is strong in Aries, has a lot of desire. And we need to convert that again, to the desire for the self alone. And we have Mercury in Pisces conjunct Neptune. And Mercury is the way we think. Remember, it's the power of the thought. Neptune is a very high level of consciousness. It's ruled Pisces. All right. So imagine when that's gonna happen. Mercury on Monday. Okay, that's already after Passover. It's actually still Passover. It's Saturday night, Sunday, Monday, right? And obviously for the whole week until next Friday is the 7th of Pesach. We're celebrating Passover for 8 days, right? So on that Monday, we have the sun conjunct Kairos. Also give the light of the sun to heal the wound of I don't have, my lack, I don't get it. All right. And okay, so that Mercury, the thought process in Pisces, Mercury, it's true, it doesn't like Pisces so much because Mercury is a radio. It's, imagine take a radio and throw it in the water. Pisces is water sign. So even though Mercury doesn't like Pisces so much, is actually very psychic in Pisces. But of course Mercury doesn't like to be psychic. He wants to know information, right? Gemini, Virgo. But he has no choice. He's a spiritual Mercury, right? But it's taking us to psychic abilities, again, go back. And Neptune is the planet that rules Pisces. All right, it's very high, consciously is divine. All right, so when we have that Mercury conjunct Neptune, it's amazing energy of divine that we can connect to. That if we really want to set ourselves free, we're able to do that. Okay, you see, the universe is really, really supporting. Not that we need the planets to do it for us, because already the energy of Passover is enough, believe me. The Creator didn't need planet to take us out of Egypt. So I don't want us to think that, that it's the planets. But actually, Pharaoh thought it's the planets because when in Makat Bechorot, I remember one of the plagues, when the people of Israel were supposed to leave Egypt, they were supposed to leave exactly at midnight, and in that midnight was the hour of Mars, because every hour there is another planet that rules that hour. And Pharaoh, because he was only working the planets, he thought that because it's the hour of Mars, they won't be able to do that. But obviously the Creator is much above planets, okay? But we do mention astrology because even astrologically, planets are helping us. What they do, they just push us, and we can, it's a gift that the Creator gave us, to give us that push. So if it's hard for us to sit and meditate and to connect to psychic abilities, then we have that Mercury and Neptune in the sky that will give us that push that we can, if it's very hard for us, that we will be able to really connect. All right. I just wanted to make sure that it's not replacing power of Creator. And okay, so what else we have here? And also we have that Venus now, because Sun and Venus are together, so it's always gonna conjunct, like Venus conjunct Chiron, and immediately after Sun conjunct Chiron, and then Venus sextile Saturn, immediately after Sun sextile Saturn. Okay, so because Sun and Venus are working together along Pesach. So sextile, okay, so sextile is a positive aspect, in astrology. Sun in Aries, Venus in Aries, sextile Saturn in Aquarius. All right, so it's a beautiful work of the Aries, right? Sun in Aries, Venus in Aries. Aries is about me. Okay, there's nothing wrong about it. On the contrary, like desire is very good. We just need to transform it for desire for the self alone, and that's what the Sun Venus is doing with Saturn in Aquarius, because Saturn in Aquarius is the people, all right, and the Aries is the me. But because it's sextiles, it means it's blending very well. We can find balance. We can find that center column between the me and the community, between the me and the people, between the me and the world. So we can find, that energy very nicely, and it will be easy for us to connect. Also, in Passover, we have the full moon in Libra and the sun is in Aries. So, again, is the Libra is what you want and Aries is what I want. And I always say, like, it's a great combination because Aries will continue to get what they want because they'll grab what they want. And the Libra that wants to make them happy will continue to feed them. So even though it's supposed to be compatible, if we don't know really how to find the balance there, and if the Libra doesn't say, hey, I want to, that can be a dangerous combination, right? But when we have the full moon in Libra, again, we have that axis of the me and the others. So we have the Aquarius, which is community, and Libra. What's the difference between, Libra is for others too, but Aquarius is community, and Libra is for the other person, is for the fellow man, it's for the, so in every angle we see that how astrologically, if we know how to balance that desire of the Aries together with the Saturn in Aquarius and together with the moon in Libra, and that's freedom too, because if I feel like the Aries that I don't get what I want, remember the Chiron, the healing of Chiron, the Chiron in Aries is like, I'm not getting my chocolate cake right now. I'm not getting the respect I need right now. I'm not getting the job that I want right now. I'm not getting the soulmate that I want right now. I'm not getting what I want right now. But I'm a free person. I'm not attached to it. And the moment that I'm not attached to it, then I will have that.